got to make a change, man. It starts right here with us. And definitely, man, with Phocuz Radio. So without further ado, man, I want to bring up Michael Campbell. Let's go, y'all. How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
Man, I am well. Thanks for asking. I want to thank you. Definitely thank you for coming out today, taking time out of your busy schedule, coming out to interview with me. Phocuz Field of Phocuz Radio. Thanks for gracing my stage. Michael Campbell, running for DC Mayor 2022, right?
Yes, sir.
Who is Michael Campbell? Let my audience know.
Michael Campbell is a community-oriented pastor. Loves DC. 32 years old. And I just have a heart for people.
Okay.
You know, that's who I am. If you want to define me, just use the word people. I love people. I'm inspired by people. I'm motivated by people, and I work to inspire and motivate people.
Mm-hmm.
So people keep me going, and I believe that my job, my purpose here on earth, is to fight for our people and to bring our people a certain joy and an opportunity to enjoy life here on earth.
Your background, dad was a pastor?
Yes, sir.
And still a pastor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are a pastor now.
Yes, sir.
Give me some background on that. I was researching some info about you, and you changed your life. One of the people that had changed their life around and gave their life to God.
Yes.
I'm assuming. And tell us a little bit about that, like, and how you changed, why you changed.
Well, we all. I'm not going to say we. I'm going to speak for myself. I've had to make decisions, and I haven't always made the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that it doesn't define you how many times you fall, but what defines you is how you get back up.
Okay.
And if you stay up. And so in my life, I've encountered situations where I've been homeless, jobless, just not knowing where I'm going to go, not knowing what I'm going to do with myself. And we are quick to blame government. We are quick to blame other people.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to take time and have a time of self-examination where we see, hey, look, we made bad choices. Hey, look, we didn't listen to those who gave us wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And we suffering the consequences for that. And I use those experiences to build on. Not instead of dwelling in them, I use those experiences to build on them, to learn from them, and to help those who may be going through the same experiences.
Mm-hmm. What you just spoke on, homelessness, jobless, tends to be a problem in our nation's capital.
Yes.
What's the plan you would have if you became mayor?
Well, first and foremost, let me just start off by saying that one of my main points of my platform is that I do want to fight to raise minimum wage to $20 an hour.
Okay, I seen that.
Yes. Poverty has struck us. The average cost for rent is $2,126 in this city. And the bottom line is majority of people can't afford it. And the ones that can afford it, they're living paycheck to paycheck. At $15.20 an hour, when you're paying that much rent, you have maybe $3,600 left over for the whole year. We're talking about medical expenses, transportation expenses. If you have any children, you have to do clothes and food, and how can you go a whole year with $3,600 and expect to enjoy your life? It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Yet we have a city which pays some of the highest in federal income taxes. We got to do better for our city. We need to raise minimum wage right now. We got to attack this thing. We have people coming into our city who are taking jobs from Washingtonians who have been in our city since the beginning. And as a result, we have Washingtonians who are looking for jobs, who find themselves in a competitive place where they're competing for a job and they're not even getting them. They're competing for a job and they went to high school, they went to college, but yet someone else can come into this city and not even move in the city yet. They can be living somewhere else and interview for a job and land that job. That is a problem, and it needs to be addressed immediately.
Wow. I've noticed that too. I work in the property management field. A lot of people come from DC with housing choice vouchers. And I say, why are you moving? Which I already kind of know, but I just like to find out. And I say, why are you moving? And they say things like, well, the landlord is selling the building, or they tearing it down, they want to build another one. The rent is too high. We can't afford it. They have lowered the amount on my voucher, so I got to find another place to go. But how will we stop that? Because I mean, this right now they are really doing a lot of building. So I mean, how are we going to make it affordable for us? Because right now we can't afford it. So will that change? You think?
Well, see, what my plan focuses on is, I don't believe that we should punish those who have worked hard throughout their life to become developers, business owners, homeowners who have worked hard to navigate through the real estate system. I don't believe the problem lies with them. I believe the problem lies with, why are we not getting what we deserve? Our people should be getting paid more money. Our people should have more opportunity. We need to do something about our rent ceiling. It's unfair. It's unjust. We need to do something about our affordable housing plans. The city has money to help those that need help. Money and funds have been misused and misappropriated. It seems like every week there's another bombshell. I'm almost at the point where I'm just ready to say Mayor Bowser needs to resign right now. It's just been too many things going on.
Is she running this term, you know?
She has not made a
announced it, right? So you think part of the problem lies because of the decisions that she may make?
Yeah. It all goes back to choices. We have a choice. And you can either choose to be a mayor for the people, or you can choose to be a mayor for business. And I think her choice has been clear.
How do you feel about the leaders, not only her, but the leaders of our city now? Like, what's your thoughts on them? Some of them good, some of them bad, or they just all, they just need to go? We just need a whole new fresh breed, or what?
When it comes to agencies, people that were appointed by our mayor, I wholeheartedly believe that we need a fresh start. When you talk about our city's leadership, though, that does include our council. And at this point, I'm not willing to say that our council all needs to go. We have great council members, including one of my favorite, Vince Gray. And
I like Vince.
Janice George Lewis. But then we have other council members who who I believe need to do better and who maybe have failed. And I'll even go on and say it. Trayon White has failed. Ward 8, he needs to do a better job. But and I'm only saying that because I know that I've been on record criticizing him before. But let's not forget what our campaign stands for. Our campaign theme is Together, DC Can. That means that we need to unite as a city. We all know that there are differences. We all have difference of opinions. That's why we have different candidates running for council member and mayor. But we have to get a mindset that, hey, look, we have to come together. We have to unite. We have to have a common goal and a common purpose and bring our city forward. Because that's what's going on. Our city has gotten to a place where it's being divided. People are, we are at a point now, even in our education system, we have a lottery where people are sitting there praying that they get picked over another child to go to school. We can't be fighting over which school we feel is best. We should be confident that every public school in Washington, D.C. is adequate for our children. But the things that are going on, the things that our mayor has allowed, has done nothing but cause division. The crime is going ridiculous. People, I just read in the paper that there was a robbery at gunpoint for a dog. Is that what we've come to? That we are now desperate? I
thought you were talking about the other one. It was a guy, and I was here yesterday on the Unpack radio show, and there was a guy I heard that was older guy that was robbed at the...
A 75-year-old. Yes, I read about that too. It's just getting... it doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. We are walking our streets in fear. Mm-hmm. Every night I make it home and I'm like, thank you, God. Mm-hmm. I made it home safe. Because when I turn on the news, somebody else got shot. Mm-hmm. Someone else is now missing. Mm-hmm. Someone else got robbed at gunpoint. Mm-hmm. When do we say enough is enough? Mm-hmm. Why hasn't the mayor even declared a state of emergency for crime? Mm-hmm. Something got to be done. Mm-hmm. I can't sit back and just keep talking about it. Mm-hmm. So I had to get out and run.
I got you. Okay. Homelessness, you spoke on, because you were homeless at some point in time.
Yeah.
Now, I hear this a lot of times, Mike. I've seen it and I've heard it from homeless people. A large percentage of homeless people have mental issues. A lot of people don't want the help. I've seen those vans off the late night when it's cold outside, and they don't want the help. They don't want the socks. They don't want the care packages. They don't want to get in the van and go to a nice warm place, even just for the night, nice warm meal. How do we change the mentality of the people?
Well, first of all, this thing is double folded. For that, I'll speak on first by saying I can understand in a way. I've been there. If you go to a shelter, you'd rather be outside.
Wow, really?
I didn't feel safe inside of a shelter. I was right there on 2nd and D Street in Northeast. I didn't feel safe. You people are there trying to attack you, trying to rob you. You got to sleep with your bag under you. It's a roach and rat infestation. It's dirty. You barely feel the love from the people that are working there. I would rather, I'm going to tell you what I did when I was homeless. I caught the train to Ronald Reagan Airport every night. And then I came back in the city and worked. That's how I survived. I would not, I refuse to go to a shelter. We have to put the resources that we have into these type of things. When I went into a shelter in Virginia, it was totally different. It was night and day. Than when I went into one in D.C. Well, why is the city right here, where we have some of the richest people in the world, we have a huge surplus, where we are making millions of dollars on just tickets alone? So why can't we invest in our shelters? But then we read reports of $82 million being misappropriated that was due for housing.
Wow, 82 million.
Not 8,200. 82 million.
Now I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying now. Starting at the top, dwindling down.
Yeah. Because
you have monies for certain things and organizations. It doesn't go there.
And that's
goes there and it's misused.
That's the primary job of the mayor. Is to be an executive. An executive over the other agencies in the city. You're supposed to be an executive over the police department, an executive over the housing authority, an executive over these different agencies. You're supposed to be making sure that the money is being used the way it's supposed to be and for the reasons it was intended to be used. When we have reports coming out that money is not being used the way it's supposed to, when we have reports coming out that people in your administration that you have appointed personally that are stepping down now because of unethical practices, then you have failed your people. You have failed your city.
Wow. So what do we do? What's Mike's plan? Like, what's the idea? I mean, what would you propose?
The first thing we got to do is we got to attack. And I heard one of my opponents say a couple of weeks ago that he would focus first on crime. But I feel like that these things all are related. When we think about the crime, we have to look at the poverty and the education.
Okay.
All three of them are related, and all three of them need mental health attention. We have to significantly invest in mental health all around the board in our city. We have to upgrade our education system. We have to get a world-class system. What we do, how we invest in our young people determines what happens when they get older. Studies show that a child that stays in school longer is less likely to make a crime. So why are we still selling for making it legal for children to drop out at 16? One of the first things I would do is raise that age to 17 years old. Because studies show that if a child stays in school to 17, they're that much less likely to commit a crime. Also, why are the crimes going the way they are? We have people desperate because they can't make ends meet. People are desperate because they can't qualify for the jobs they need. Why can't they qualify for the jobs they need? Because they're at a disadvantage. So we need to institute things like a ready-to-work curriculum in our high schools, where they're being educated and they're being trained on different trades, trained on real estate and trained on electrician, all these different types of things, HVAC. Well, when they get out of high school, when they don't want to incur thousands of dollars in debt in college, they have another option.
And see, that not to cut you off, that's another thing though, with the debt, with people, even myself, going to college, and like you say, in our city, somebody else getting a job, not even from here, not even living here, may not even be in this country.
Right. And
will come and get housing and get a job making six figures. Well, we have people here well qualified that don't even get the option.
Yeah.
And that's just insane to me. And the thing about it is, I'm gonna tell you something like small. I won't call it small stuff, but ride through the city, I'm stuck in traffic, right? Early in the morning or going home. Half of these people don't live in D.C., but they come from somewhere else, VA, some drive from Pennsylvania, to come here to work, get the money. Or they'll come and they'll buy homes and flip them, or whatever it may be. There's other people, they already have a vision of the city and where it's going. But we have to change that, though. It has to start with us. And one thing that you said is in reference to the people. Now, how important is it to get out and vote? That's what happened with the last election. We didn't have a lot of people voting. So we put these people in office that has been in office for the last term, because you got the same amount of people or less people voting and not even looking into the newer candidates and what their plans are. So how important, tell these people about voting, how important it matters just to you as that person that's voting, like me going to the voting polls. How important is that, to vote? And tell the younger generation. Because, more voted, I think, when Obama was running or whatever. I don't know the numbers from the last, but the voting thing, man, like, people don't want to get on the vote.
It was appalling when I looked at the numbers, and it was around 47% of blacks participated in the mayoral election, the last election. And then when I go throughout the city and I'm hanging with different associates and friends, one of the main themes is how they don't like this and how they don't like that and how this is out of order and how that's out of order. And they didn't vote. And so your voice, your way of making a difference, your way of speaking up, even if you're one of the ones that say, I don't get involved in politics.
Yeah, that's what they say, yeah.
That's totally fine. That's my job. Our job as your mayor, as your city council, is to represent you. You don't get into politics. Right. So you elect someone who does, that represents your values and what you stand for. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to represent all of your values and everything that you stand for. But I can't fight for you. I can't represent you. And I can't go to work for you if you don't vote and put me in office first. It's absolutely imperative that you vote. If you don't understand what's going on nationwide, we having problems just getting the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed because our opposition understands just how powerful you can be if you choose to vote.
Wow, that's deep, but true.
Yes,
but true. And they've been doing it since the beginning of time. And I always say that, Mike. I say it all the time. If we were to band together like other cultures do, we would be so powerful. They find things to stop us. They find things to distract us. Yes. Like you said, most of them. I'm not a politician. I'm not all into politics. I pay attention to the key points, things that may affect me and my family or my community. In other words, and that's another reason why I had this platform to bring brothers like you on, because a lot of us don't read, but we'll pick up that phone and we'll stream, we'll watch TV, you know what I mean? So that's deep what you just said, man. Also, the main thing, balance. like we just spoke on, the senseless gun violence. And I always ask, people ask me, like they asked me yesterday, what are we to do? I don't know. I say capital punishment, maybe. I mean, seriously, like I don't know what would get the message across, especially to our youth or those that's just taking lives senseless, for no reason at all. Broad daylight. We got shootings. This guy yesterday chasing somebody with a gun. Police seen him, trying to stop him. He drags the police. Then we got another brother shot. He trying to shoot somebody. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a chain effect. It always goes back to black on black crime. Yeah. Like, how do we change the mentality of the youth to put their mind on something different? Because there ain't nothing cool about going to prison. Ain't nothing cool about killing an old lady. Ain't nothing cool about trying to shoot your whoever you beefing with and hit a 3-year-old, hit a 10-year-old. Ain't nothing. That ain't gangster.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So, how do we? What do we do?
First of all, like I keep saying, we have to stress mental health. Mm-hmm. We have to stress mental health. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, we failed as a city, these young people, back when they were 2 and 3 years old. And we failed to give them the help they needed. We failed to equip them with what they needed. Mm-hmm. And when they got older, we say, hey, look at them, they're criminals. And we forgot what we failed them at. In addition to that, my plan is a plan that's centered on neighborhood watch. I don't believe that what we need is more policing. I heard one of my opponents talk about Marion Barry's no loitering law. Mm-hmm. And I sat home when I heard it and I asked him, I said, I spent over a decade in Potomac Gardens in Southeast D.C. And I don't think he understood what it felt like and why we actually had to go outside of our homes and we were congregating in groups of 4 and 5 people. Because when you're sitting in the projects, when you're sitting in public housing, and there's a radiator, and there's no central AC, there's no central heat, and your house is boiling hot, to where in the middle of winter time, you got to open your front door and just to let the air come in from the hallway because you have no central heat. You have no central air. It's just a boiling radiator. The only answer is to go outside and cool off. When you're inside and it's summertime and it's 100 degrees outside and you have no central air, we go outside and we might put a table down and play Uno or something because that's the only choice we had. So when you get on someone about loitering, understand why we had to go outside to begin with. If you invest in public housing and you put the resources in, if you invest in these types of things, we would not need to go out. If you gave us community centers, if you gave us more rec centers, if you gave us things to do, then we would not need to congregate with nothing to do. That's where we have to start looking at the root of the issue and stop just attacking stuff. We don't need heavier policing. Studies already have shown we have great policies. We don't have soft policies when it comes to crime. We have great policies. What we need to do is, while we're fighting for statehood, we need to start acting like a state. We need to have a world-class education system, like a real state. We need to attack poverty like a real state. We need to attack all of these crime like a real state. We need to have people that can stay home and say, I can go and on a sink and drink a glass of water and feel comfortable. We don't even feel comfortable drinking a glass of water by our own sink. We need to invest in our infrastructure. You're talking about guys just laying around. How about fix our roads and our highways? How about invest in 295? How about invest in our G Street tunnel? That'll give these guys a job and give these guys something to do. But the answer is not to lock them up and throw them in jail. What is happening there? When they go to jail, they come back out and they commit the same crimes over and over. That's another thing we got to do. We got to look at our jail system. Jail is supposed to be a rehabilitation, not a playground.
What do you think about Conti, our new D.C. police chief? You think it's going to make a difference?
I haven't. I don't think it's been long enough.
Okay.
To make a fair evaluation. What I will say is that I respect when he speaks.
Yeah.
It appears that he speaks straight from the heart.
Yeah. That's what I peeped that too. I think that too. I like when he comes out and he speaks.
Yes.
He does. It seems like it's sincere, and he's not just talking, and he's really frustrated. Fed up.
What I have to say. Is that we have 10 black female police officers who have filed a lawsuit against the Metropolitan Police Department for harassment and for discrimination.
Yep.
Our chief and our mayor has yet to explain themselves and has yet to come out and defend or say anything about it. So while I reserve my criticisms or anything on the chief, I will say it's time for somebody to speak up and say something. Which the practices that we are hearing about is unacceptable. People are being told they must terminate their child, they must have an abortion or be fired. We got to get answers, and we need them now.
Wow. Education in our DC public school system, our DC charter school system. Where are we with that? Our teachers qualified. Do you feel like we need to get better qualified teachers? Like, what do you think? Our school system is low as far as passing tests, and I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's not right. In other words, and we need the youth to be educated for us. Us.
I was just talking to someone. I was saying, the mayor has been in office for 8 years. Our children, they don't have time for you to just do experiments to get it wrong, to get the wrong person here, to try this and then it's over, it doesn't work. Because while you're trying an experiment, they're growing. And before you know it, they've missed out on quality education. Number one, the mayor has too much power over in the education department. I personally plan to relinquish power. The State Board of Education should be choosing a superintendent or a chancellor. The mayor has no business in that affair. That's not none of her business. That needs to be left out to the State Board of Education. Number two, we say we want better schools. We want our students to be better invested in. But we need our teachers to be paid. Our teachers are underpaid. Yeah. If we want good education, if we want the best teachers, then we got to pay them.
That's facts.
The average salary of a teacher in D.C. is $65,000. When you look at the top schools in our nation, their average salary is $80,000. Immediately, I will fight to make sure that every teacher makes at least $80,000 in the city of District of Columbia. I will make sure that every teacher gets paid. They deserve to get paid. And let's not neglect the disrespect that our teachers have faced from this administration. Our teachers have been forced to come back to school against their will. Our teachers have been forced to be mandated for a vaccine against their will. Listen, our teachers have sat there and they come out of their own pockets. Year after year, they're underpaid and underappreciated. They come out of their own pockets and invest in our children. And then we tell them after all them years of sacrifice, you're fired because we don't agree that you feel what you feel is the best. I can't go that far. And I think our mayor got it wrong.
Speaking of schools, Howard University, what's going on with that ordeal? Like,
I'm proud of them students over there.
Yeah, well, I'm proud of the students. Definitely. And hopefully it'll shed some light on a lot of other stuff going on on that campus. That really surprised me, though. Because Howard University stands for so much pride, history. It's legendary, dignity.
Yeah.
One of the top HBCUs in the country.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of celebrities. So much. It's historic, right? And for that to happen, for that to occur, once again, maybe mismanaging the funds, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But we have Felicia Rashad over there now. And I have full confidence in Miss Rashad, and I believe that Howard will get things back on track.
Okay. Give my audience, man, your information. There's a number they can contact you. You have anything for Q&A? They want to ask you questions or anything like
I'm
that?
always open to questions. If anyone wants to call in or have any questions, I'm always open to questions. You can always contact us. Our email address is togetherdccan@gmail.com. That's togetherdccan@gmail.com. If you want to volunteer or get active, get with our campaign, you can call us at 202-204-6225. That's 202-204-6225. And that's what I'm all about. Together, DC Can. I'm not running saying that, hey, look, I am the best ever, that I have all the solutions. But what I am saying is that we have to come to a point where we have to stop being a divided city. Our council needs to be united with our mayor. Our people needs to be united. I was just listening in on the redistricting process earlier today. We're becoming divided. And I believe one of the biggest things we need in this city is to come together. On my team, we have people of all ages, people of all races, from different backgrounds.
Yeah, you guys are getting younger, man. You politicians are getting younger.
Well, the problem is that the older politicians have forgotten what they were supposed to be. They're supposed to represent the people. And oftentimes, they get into these offices and they promise us one thing and turn out to be another way. And my biggest inspiration, my biggest motivation is Mayor Marion Barry. And Marion Barry was a man who was always about the people. Mayor Barry captured my heart. He helped me get an apartment, and I told you I was homeless. He met me in Covenant House, Washington, in the youth homeless shelter, and he helped me get an apartment. He helped me pay my first month rent and a security deposit. And what captured me about him was I couldn't afford to live in D.C. My apartment that he helped me get was in Oxon Hill in Maryland.
Oh, really?
And I just was puzzled.
Man, plugs, man.
I was puzzled. I'm like,
yeah,
I can't vote for you. You're taking me out of, you're taking me out of your district, and you're putting me in Maryland. You're losing a voter, but you're still helping me. He was like, that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that you got a roof over your head. And I mean, at that moment, I understood what being a politician should really be about. And that's who I am.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace.
Mayor Marion Barry. I really wish that his son could have been, next in line. I'm sure he was trying to groom him, lead him in, that direction. Rest in peace to him also. Man, it's been great. It's been great, man. Like, this has been a great interview, man. Like, real talk. The audience, all a million people clapping for you. With you campaigning, so you going around the city? Like,
Yes,
what's your next stop? Like, where would you be if people want to come and, like?
Well, we're always at 1424 W Street Northwest. That's going to be our campaign headquarters.
Okay.
I'm going to kick off my first speech. We're going to have a live event next month, and we won't forget where we came from. We're going to kick it off right in Potomac Gardens.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we're going to do that, but you're going to see us everywhere. Metro buses, on the trains, in the alleys, in the stores, with McDonald's. You will see us throughout this city. Because what drives me is not that I want to win. But what drives me is that I want to help our people. That's what it's all about. And if there's an opportunity to give other people an opportunity,
right,
then I'm all on it.
I always say, be inspired to inspire.
Yes.
Motivate to motivate.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing. It's not so much about the win, but just being connected with the people.
Yeah.
People knowing who you are, someone that they can reach out to, other than politicians.
I
in other
remember
words.
Marion Barry was he was doing his book signing, and someone asked Marion Barry. They said, "Wow, you've been at this for so long. You've gotten into your predicament, and you came back. Like, what keeps you going?" And he said, "Every time I come around the people, the energy that y'all give me, it fuels me to give it right back." And I understand exactly what he means.
Hey, man, it's been real right here on Phocuz Radio. Another exclusive interview. Michael Campbell runs for DC Mayor 2022. We're going to take a quick breather. We'll be